Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner. It is Friday the 12th of January. S&P 500 yesterday tested its previous peak here just below 4,800, just spiking a little bit higher, but it still stayed below and closed a little bit below. We are still in a bullish sentiment, positive sentiment there, and I still believe we could move higher towards 48.35, possibly higher here in coming days and weeks. Nasdaq 100 was a little bit weak also, but did close a little bit higher during the day. So we also have the RSI above 60 there. I would like to see it closing above its upper falling trend line so we can get a little bit more upside momentum. But it was especially Tesla holding it back. There will be a report or analysis out on Tesla a little bit later today. EUROSTOXX 50, heavy sell-off yesterday, but still in this sideways range trading picture here. We need to get the RSI back above 60 for any meaningful upside potential for EUROSTOXX, but then we could also see it. DAX also heavy yesterday, a little bit higher today. If we take out the peak from yesterday at 16,840, well, then we are likely to see uptrend resuming towards 17,000 and also quite likely above it, and it will most likely be confirmed by the RSI coming back above 60. Amsterdam heavy sell-off yesterday also tried to get back above 781 resistance, but it didn't manage. But this morning seems to be really getting its mojo back together, and currently we are back above. So if we are closing back above today, well, then we could potentially see the uptrend resuming, and especially also if we can get the RSI to close back above 60. So that's quite interesting right there. We have the CFD on the Amsterdam index trading a little bit higher this morning, but still I would like to see the RSI coming back above 60. Belgium markets really struggling to penetrate this 37.42, and yesterday it was sold below the lower rising trend line here. So the uptrend is a little bit in the jeopardy, but we haven't reversed anything just yet. There's some strong support here at 36.32 and the previous lows around here. Also, we still have the RSI in a positive sentiment. If market can move back above the rising trend line, lower rising trend line there, well, then maybe we could get RSI back above 60, calling this a false break. CAC 40 actually did close yesterday below 7,405, but look at this, it actually closed just above the previous low over there at 7,380, but we also had this spike down here. So a little bit of a blurry picture in general on CAC 40. However, RSI didn't close below 40, so we could see a little bit of a bounce. And if we get back above 75.26, well, then I believe we're back in bullish mode for the CAC 40. So it's on a knife edge at the moment. The Swiss market also heavy sold off, but bouncing a little bit today, and it is still in an uptrend. Euro dollar had a little bit of a volatile day yesterday after the CPI numbers, but we didn't get anywhere. We just spiked up to touch the 110 resistance level, and that is the key level to break and to close above. And I think if we see another break above, then I wouldn't want to wait for a close. I think I would just, if it was me, just following through with a possibly move to 111, possibly also 111.30, 40 ish, and that will most likely also get the RSI back above 60. So keep an eye on that level there, and the lower rising trend line there, and of course the support here at around 108.80. The 55 moving average is giving some support, so the underlying seems fairly bullish, but there are some warning signs that it will not materialize. However, cable starting to try again today, 127.71. It's not the strongest support resistance, but it is still holding on. If we can break back above 128.28, right there at the previous peak, well, then there's room up to around 130, and the key support at 126.10. Dollar yen, interesting case really. RSI didn't close above a 60, so technically we are still in a negative sentiment, but we did build an uptrend, but it's really struggling to following through, losing steam just below the 55 moving average and just below 146.60 resistance level there, and just below the cloud, and now we are testing this 144.95 minor support. So I think we could slide a little bit lower towards the 200 moving average again here, maybe until we will try have another go to the upside. Also euro yen, well, it is in a bullish trend, also supported by RSI. Actually did close above 60 right there. Got rejected at the 61.8 retracement, 160, setting back a little bit, but we are in an uptrend, so let's see if we can move higher here in the next couple of days. You don't want to see it break below 157.20, then we are demolishing this bullish picture. Aussie yen did close above on the 10th. It did close above 97.58, but was sold off yesterday. However, we are above the cloud. We are above 55 moving average, but we do not have the RSI above 60. So a little bit of a warning sign that maybe can't really follow through. I do believe that if we have another go at 97.58, then we will see a sharp move higher, and we will get the RSI back above 60. Sterling yen, after breaking about 148.32, bullish trend, bullish sentiment, there's room up to 188.66, possibly higher. Aussie dollar, second time it dipped below the 61.8 retracement at 66.57, and I think now we will see a bounce back above the 21 moving average, and I think we will see a resuming of the uptrend. There's no divergence on the RSI, still in a positive sentiment, and if we get the RSI back above 60, well, then it will confirm this rebound picture there. Dollar Swiss, keep an eye on this range, 85.77, 84.55. That is the range that needs to break for a direction. RSI stays to the upside, but it could just as well to be to the downside. It's really hard to predict there. And another one that is in a range-bound move, still keep an eye on 108.83 and 101.62. That's the range that needs to break out of. Currently, it seems like it will break out to the downside. Gold did make an interesting move yesterday. Dipped just below the 61.8 retracement at 2017 with a couple of cents, a couple of dollars, and then bounced. And I think we will see it bouncing further or higher here in coming days towards 2060-64 level. RSI is still in a positive sentiment despite there's a divergence. I think we could see a move up to 61.8 retracement right there. If we take out the lows from yesterday, and if we take out the and do close below the lower horizon trend line here, well, then we are going to see gold lower, possibly below 2,000. Silver, as you could also see in my technical update that I sent out yesterday, it dipped below or down to the 22.5 level before bouncing, and I think that was it. I think we will see a move up to around 23.5. But there's some strong resistance up around these levels here where we have the 155 moving average coming more or less flat, and we have the 100 being a little bit slightly declining there. So we are technically in a downtrend, but this 22.5 should hold. Platinum seems like it has exhausted its trend, dipping just below the 786 retracement at 916, a little bit lower there. bouncing off from the cloud, and I think we will see platinum moving higher towards 952 here in the coming week or so. If it does take out the lows from yesterday again, well, then we are looking at levels around 900 and possibly also lower right there. Copper, not really much to say, got rejected at 382.20 yesterday, but I think we will have another go here today or going into next week, so we should see a move higher. On the energy front, after US and UK have launched an attack on the Houthis in Yemen, oil climbed a little bit higher, but not much. But we did break above the upper falling trend line, but it is still not in a bullish mode, to say the least. If we can get back above 74.25 on the WTI, well, then there could be upside potential to 76, possibly up to 78, 79 on Brent. More or less the same picture, trying to really get it act together and move higher above the upper falling trend line here. But I mean, there is so much stronger overhead resistance, so it will be a struggle. But we could see a spike up to around 81, 82. And finally here on the US Treasury yields that are slowly sliding towards 390. Let's see if that can hold the 61.8 retracement there, and then I think we'll see a little bit of bounce around on those levels right there. All right, that's all for today and this week. Have a nice weekend and happy trading. Talk to you again Monday.